Good afternoon, evening. Hey everyone, Aslema in Tunisian. Welcome once again in one of our amazing webinar series. And um, I hope see you all having a great time and joining us to have an amazing discussion with an amazing African entrepreneur and a great leader. So, as you know, today we're going to discuss um, a very interesting topic that it seems to be important for many of us, especially women. And today's topic will be about the African perspective on female leadership. And I would like to welcome um, a female leader, an inspiring leader with us, Salmine Sassi, who is a Tunisian entrepreneur, um, female empowerment coach, a consultant, um, and a spirit with energy and vibes that would um, create a very interesting impact. So, welcome, Selmine. I will let you the floor to present yourself. So, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Rashida and KG. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here today to be talking to all of you. So, my name is Salmine. I'm currently in Tunis, Tunisia. I am Tunisian. I'm a big believer in an African continent that's united, where we can work together, trade within the continent. I think we still have a huge mismatch, but we're working towards solving that. So I am an entrepreneur and a consultant. I started my organization called She Stars Africa, which is a social enterprise that builds women capacity in leadership and entrepreneurship. So we design programs that support female aspiring entrepreneurs throughout their entrepreneurial journey. So our programs are mainly into building capacity, building skill sets, offering resources and networks to support women to succeed in the digital world, in the entrepreneurial world. I'm also a consultant. I work with small enterprises and startups, and I help them go to market. I help them build their strategic plan, understand their markets, and just lean in and go to market. I was at an incubator for social entrepreneurs in the US called Watson Institute. And I studied business administration at Tunis Business School in Tunisia. And my next step, or my next kind of geographical location, I think is Kenya. I think Kenya is calling me. So if you are from Kenya, please connect. I'd love to talk to you. So this is me, just in a nutshell, what I do, what I believe in. I am a feminist, and a feminist is someone who believes in equality between the sexes. And it has nothing to do with someone being better than the other. That's not what feminism is. I believe in gender equality. I believe if we have more women in leadership, more women entrepreneurs, more women making decisions, then we'll have better economies. We'll have more inclusive, more diverse economies, and that's only going to make us grow as nations and as a continent. And just maybe I can share with you one thing, is that it's really important to empower women to take leadership. And the simplest reason is when you see the countries that who are led by women, and you see how they faced COVID-19, and you can see a lot of difference. Like, you can see the difference between New Zealand and so many other countries. So yeah, I'm a believer in having more women leading our beautiful continent. I'm a believer in having youth in decision making, especially in building businesses and being in politics. And I believe in us young Africans working together to bring the continent together, north to south. Um, and yeah, that's me. What I want to do today, we have a little bit less than an hour together. I want us to talk and have a conversation rather than me talking for an hour and feel like lecturing you. So if you are on Zoom and you have a question or a feedback or an argument or anything you'd like us to discuss, please put it in the chat. And if you are on Facebook, also comment. And Rashida will ask that question or share that insight. Or if I say something and you disagree, then that's also fine. Please share it with us. We'd love to hear it and have a conversation about that. So I just want to say that this is a space for a conversation, for to inspire each other, to learn from each other. And I'm super happy to be here. If you'd like to connect with me after this, then I'm Salmine Sassi on all platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, so whatever works for you. I'm not responsive on Facebook though. So LinkedIn, Instagram. And yeah, Rashida, the floor is yours if you have any questions for me or.
Well, first of all, you're such an amazing woman. You've already mentioned a lot of unique traits about you, unique traits about um, like African woman, and I cherish you for being a feminist, for supporting women, and also for holding that African spirit, and also take part in creating new narratives, especially when it comes to women in leadership. I also, before moving on, I would like to highlight that um, as Selmin was mentioning, feel free to share your comments, ask your questions, and have like a sense of critical thinking about this topic, about women leadership and the African perspectives. Um, and yeah, so thank you again for being here with us. And um, when we get into deeper into the topic of African perspective on female leadership, um, it's a huge and there's a lot to reflect upon this. But I'm just curious to know what does female leadership really means to you in the African context.
Okay, this is a really important question. Like I was saying earlier, female leadership and having women in leadership, having more women active in the economy, I think will be the driver of our continent. I personally think, and this is not a fact, it's just a personal opinion, I think that women are impact oriented. When a woman runs a business, she thinks about the well-being of her employees and the impact she creates in her community as much as that she thinks about the money. And I think that's really important. That's very important for our continent right now, especially with digitalization and all of that. We need to stick together and we need to have more leaders who care about the impact and how we are advancing our societies. And I think women just inherently do that. Melinda Gates said something along the line of, if we invest in women and girls, we are investing in the people who invest in everybody else. And I think that quote speaks for itself. Um, so yeah, it's not a fact. There is no specific thing biologically inherently different that makes women want to make impact, but I do see it. So I hope if there's a study out there, please send it to me or please do this study. I do see whenever I work. So in She Stars Africa, we work with so many women from all over Tunisia, but also Africa. And we'd have to tell them specifically, don't think about the impact. I want you to make money. And we say this, and Rashida can also second that, because we've been
Yeah.
constantly telling our entrepreneurs, okay, think about how you're selling your products and how you're making money, and don't worry about the impact, because you are gonna have an impact. So that's why, honestly, I really want to see more women in leadership, not only in business, but especially, I mean, in business, but also in politics. Um, and I want to see more female leaders in our countries, in our government, because that's how we start making the change from the grassroots up. But if just the government is not going our way, they don't understand the young people's mind. They don't understand our mindset, what we want to do. They don't understand technology and digitalization. Then we just have to do it, right? We just have to do it. We need to stick together and do what's best for our countries, for our communities, for our continent. Even if our governments are not standing beside us, and that's fine, they'll just learn it in the future. They'll learn the importance of everything that we're doing in the future, and they'll come a day where they stick beside us. And I just wanted to say this because there's a lot going on in the continent, like in Senegal, in Algeria. There's a lot going on. People are frustrated, people are revolting, and they're rightfully so. People are angry, and they're rightfully so. um, and I just want to say, I urge you to protect your country, to protect your people, and to do your best to create projects and services and products and experiences that can actually make your own community a better place for you and for others. And that has nothing to do with women leaders, but I just wanted to mention that it has a lot to do with women leaders, because if we have an inclusive community, an inclusive economy, then we'll face less and less and less socio-economic problems that we are seeing right now. I
Yeah.
hope I answered your question, Rashida.
Actually, this is empowering. I feel empowered. And I don't know if the audience feels that too. But if you do, please comment and share your perspectives. And why not answer the question about what does female leadership means to you? And yeah, you are right. And um, besides seeing women in various positions, um, I would like to acknowledge that female are already leaders. Like the mother at home is a leader. A younger with ambitions is a leader too. Like we have that spirit, and I'm grateful to say that I'm a woman, and um, I'm grateful too to hear this inspiring answer that led me to think that um, despite all the challenges that we're facing, despite all the gender gap that we're living in at all sectors and at all countries in our continent, I feel the urge to share with Selmine and each and every woman that we're leaders, and our presence is super impactful for our continent or even for our nation. And speaking about um, women leading in various settings like home to national government, business, and so on, like, do you think that African women are giving enough acknowledgement for their leadership roles? Like, what do you
Yeah.
think I mean about that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think that everyone here needs to make a list of women who are experts in their field within their country, and have a list of that, and have it on your phone, at all times, because this is what happens. At least this is what I saw in Tunisia. We have incredible women experts. They are all over the world. They are experts in their fields. They are leaders. They are starting businesses. But then you go to a startup competition, a conference, and you see a panel of all men, or you see a panel of like 9 men and 1 woman, and you'd think, okay, why? And the first answer that you get, well, we don't have so many women, so many female ICT experts, or so many female digital transformation experts. We actually do, but on the spot, you wouldn't be able to think about them. Why? Because they're just not as active online as you might think. And I think female experts who are not influencers, right? Female expert who is not an influencer are not good at branding themselves. And I think that's also something that I struggle with, and my team helps me with that. Is that these incredible women are not branding themselves. They're not talking about their achievements and what they're doing. They're not talking about their skills and competencies and what they're bringing to the table in their countries. And so we forget about them. We don't know about them. So no, they are not recognized. And we only recognize women, I feel like, on 2 occasions, on Mother's Day and on Women's Day. And we have like a couple of online magazines making this blog of 7 women, 7 influential women in Africa. And the 7 of them are probably like a couple of influencers that have a million subscribers on Instagram. What about the rest of them? What about those who are on LinkedIn? They don't even have other social media and they only do their job, but they're doing amazing. So I feel like whatever you are, whoever you are, have a list of these female experts, have it in a sheet. And whenever you want to recommend someone, check that list. Because if you don't know them, you're probably not going to think about them first if you want to recommend someone to be judged at a competition or a speaker at an event. Or if you are a woman leader, if you are a female expert watching this, then ask your friends to do this. I asked Rashida, I was like, Rashida, I want to go into branding and I want to be able to talk to in more pan-African events, and I want to put myself out there. And that's how we get our voices heard, and that's very important. So if you're a female expert, reach out to someone who could recommend you to some other organization, and post on LinkedIn and ask for feedback, and email Rashida and ask her for feedback. She's amazing at what she does. Um, and put yourself out there, brand yourself, be present online, but be present. I mean, you can only be present online nowadays, right? With the pandemic. But it goes both way, right? We cannot expect the society to do things for us, right? It goes both way. We need to ask for it, and we need to tell the society how to deal with it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you've been mentioning very great tips. And this is like pushing us to feel more confident about our skills, about our limitless potential, because we really, really, really able like to perform above expectations, especially when it comes to the business world. And yeah, like um, personal branding and having like the urge to cast down the light on your skills, on your potential, and on your ability to create great things is really important in this context, which brings me to know more about the difference between male leadership and female leadership in this context, because um, we've been hearing and we've been even seeing um, male leadership like how some really feel that there's a difference, that um, that males are even more exposed to leadership positions, while if we see, for example, in Tunisia, a woman who who took a very important leadership position, she usually um, gets some feedbacks or some critics about how can a woman really lead, and why a woman is even leading and taking this position. So like from these perspective, I feel like there's for some people, for some um, a narrative that says that male leadership is quite different than female leadership. Like, what's your opinion regarding this?
Yeah, interesting question because when I started doing this, doing She Stars Africa, I talked a lot about the feminine leadership style. And the feminine and masculine leadership style have nothing to do with the female and male in their gender. So you can be a man who balances their feminine and masculine leadership style, and you can be a woman who has only masculine leadership style. So it's not about being a woman leader and being a man leader. It's about balancing those two energies within yourself. And there are traits of feminine leadership style, and there are traits for male leadership style, and it's related to how we were raised since the beginning of time, right? So if we go to the foragers millions of years ago, the men used to hunt and the women used to take care of the space they're in a cave, or I don't know, and take care of the kids, but also make sure no animal is coming in, and also cook. So she was doing so many things at once, whereas the men were hunting and they were focused on one animal and they're hunting it, right? So women were doing all of these things and the man was focused on one thing. And that's exactly how we are today. Most women are natural, quote unquote, multitaskers. We do so many things at once. We're good at multitasking. Whereas most men focus. And you gain these skills, right? Multitasking and being able to focus. You gain these skills as you grow up within your environment, education, and all of that. But here's the thing. So I just want to read to you something that a really interesting quote. I hope I can find it. Come on, come on. Also, please start writing your comments and feedback and answer questions and all the things you want us to talk about. Because
Yeah.
I hate to like just I can't find the quotes.
Share your favorite quotes too.
Okay, no, it's not. It's a quote by Joyce Banda. So she was the president of Malawi. I think she was the second only female president in the whole continent of Africa. The first one was the president of Liberia in 2006, I think. I'm not sure. Guys, everything I say, Google, because I mean, take everything with a grain of salt, right? So here's what she says, and this is really interesting for when we talk about feminine and masculine leadership styles and skills. She said, people are born with 30% leadership traits, but 70% of that is added on by education, environment, society. What about the girls born in abject poverty? Her 30% is not nurtured, cultivated, and allowed to increase. And it's not only women in poverty, but women in most regions of the southern sphere, so Africa or South Asia, Middle East, when you grow up, in most cases, we are not treated the same, girls and boys. So his skills and capacities had the chance and the privilege to be nurtured because he was playing outside. Maybe if one of us had to go to school, the parents would choose the boy. He didn't have to go through the pain of FGM that still happens across the continent, which is really horrible. He doesn't have to get married at a certain age. He just was expected to go to school and pick up some skills and get a good job, or even maybe go to abroad to a Western country and make a better life for himself and maybe his family. But the girl was expected to do way, way, way more and way, way, way less. So way, way, way more in terms of her role in the family. And who she was made to think she is. And she was doing way, way less in terms of her education, going outside, being in the society. So her 30% was not nurtured, and the 70% was not taught in a way, those skills and competencies that Joyce Benda was talking about. So this goes to say that oftentimes, and this is why mentorship and programs that target women specifically are very important, because oftentimes we find ourselves a young, amazing lady, 20 years old, who maybe has less skills, managerial skills, communication, soft skills than another 20-year-old male, African male. A 20-year-old African woman has less of all of that because her environment did not nurture her to think that she can be a leader, she can be in a managerial position in her job, she can start her project. She was not expected to be all of that. And so 20-year-old, she wants, okay, 25-year-old, okay, I want to start a business. And then, oh, I cannot talk to investors, or I don't know where to start, or maybe this is not for me. And we start questioning ourselves, our capacities, our leadership, and we end up either giving up or taking just a simple 9-to-5 job, or maybe even getting married and not following our goals and dreams and visions as incredible women that we are. So I don't think it's if a woman has a different leadership style than a man. I think there is a feminine leadership style and a masculine leadership style. And as a woman, I have both, and I have to balance both. And as a man, he has both, and he has to balance both, because both are important. I'm not going to go into details on what masculine leadership style is and feminine leadership style is. You can go on Google and learn it on your own, because there are different studies, there are different resources. And I don't want to say something that could be not entirely true. And I'd love for you to make your own opinion about that. And so putting that with the fact that for a million of years, we had a specific role as women and men had a specific role. So inherently, we have different ways of managing and doing things. We like to do so many projects at once, be on top of so many things at once. Whereas our male counterpart want to focus, and that's perfectly fine. Both ways of managing and doing things is fine, and it's important, and it's good. It's just different. And those capacities and skills of multitasking, we gain as we grow up. But women tend to miss the opportunity, the privilege to nurture those capacities and those skills and adopt new skills and competencies. And in the digital world, we need to empower each other, ladies, to support each other, to provide each other resources. To, if you are in your neighborhood the only one that has a laptop, then bring the women and teach them how to use it. Teach them how to code if you know how to do that. Um, Share the information, the resources, these opportunities with the women around you, because we don't want to be left behind as women, and we don't want to be left behind in the digital transformation wave as a continent. So we need to be ahead of the competition, and the world is changing very fast, and we need to be able to change as fast as technology is yeah, it's changing our lives, I think. Yeah, that's it. Please comment and let me know what you think about everything that I said. If you agree, disagree, have a question, have a feedback, have an experience you want to share, I'd love to hear it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Please um, go ahead and never hesitate to share your um, thoughts regarding what Selmin has shared, because there's a lot of things have been going on in my mind, because I got really to reflect on the environment thing, and how women are capable and need to like figure out their own way to hone their skills and to show how and what they're capable of doing. Like um, I really wanted to share this little personal experience. The fact of being in a different environment, as I've been, as I'm Moroccan. Let, let's just share this with everyone. And I can recall the moment that I've been living there for a while, and I've been in a rural area. And now, as I'm living in the city in Tunis, I can really see the difference. I can really grasp um, like the environment that I was in and the environment that I'm now, because like there's a huge difference. Um, and I would really highlight that how environment impact on your abilities and on your skills, also on your visions and goals. Like the person I was when I was in that rural area is not the same as I am, because I got to surrounded myself with like-minded people, with visions, with aspirations. Um, I got to look for opportunities that would help me to take my craft perfectly, to have skills um, to master these skills. While when I was in that rural area, I was, let's say, quite um, like limited. There was boundaries. I didn't know that this and that exists. I didn't know that I'm really capable to do this if I only improve myself and get surrounded with inspiring people, and let these people support me. I mean, really, like the environment aspect is so important. And I would like really to highlight one thing, that whatever environment you're in, rural or in the city, or like living in a war, or like whatever environment you're in, like always aspire to dream big. And when I say to dream big, is to see beyond what you're seeing. When I was in that rural area, I didn't expect um, to see a lot of things, to discover a lot of things, to even change my vision about the world, about me being able to become a leader. And why not become an entrepreneur who would promote development, social development, economic development in my country or in the continental level. So, as Salmin said, be confident, um, see really beyond what you're seeing. And um, upon this, I'm curious um, to know your opinion about where are we now as a continent on the issue of female leadership. As we've been talking about female leadership, about how different environments we're in, but also how it is important to challenge the norms and show how capable we can be. We still face issues, but where are we now as a continent regarding um, this issue of female leadership?
Um, yes, Rashida, thank you for sharing all of that. That's really inspiring. And I'm personally very proud of you and happy to know you. I just before answering that, KG shared a question. So a question from KG is or an insight. So this is very insightful. How do we help prepare women outside of the formal education system? Many young women still don't get to go to school. How do we help develop them into leaders? Okay,
Yeah,
so that's very important. So it depends on where we are in the
yeah,
continent, but also in the country. Are we talking about the city or the rural areas, like Rashida was saying? Because for me, I feel like you don't have to go to the formal primary, middle, high school, university to be able to thrive in the digital world, to be able to become a leader, pick up skills, because everything is on the internet. um, so you can build that. And I think we need to have more and more and more, and we don't have enough of programs that are holistic, that target women specifically, that go to women specifically. This is how she wants to learn. This is what she needs to learn. This is how she wants to learn it. And this is where we want to take her. And it has to come from the women themselves in their own realities. So, speaking about Tunisia, the reality of a woman who lives in the capital is not the same than the reality of a woman who lives in the south. And in order to empower her, we need to know her pain point, her problems, her realities, and what is available for her, um, so she can actually build her leadership capacity and acquire technical or entrepreneurial skills that will allow her to thrive in the economy and build her own life and her own future in a way. But all of these things require access to either facilities or internet. And this is when it gets tricky because some remote areas don't have facilities where experts can go and spend a year or 6 months and deliver all of these valuable resources, information, and training and networks. And also, in most remote areas, there is no access to internet. So that's where the challenge comes in. There are other ways that we can give access to women all over the continent, like the phone messaging. That could be one thing that we can use the technology. What's it called? ADSL. That's it. SSD. The SSD technology. Um, that could work if there's access to phones. It doesn't need internet. But I still think that there needs to be a movement where all of these support organization and global international NGOs and governments and diaspora of could work together to provide that type of access. I think that's really important. The accessibility is the most is the biggest challenge facing us as a continent. before, I mean, yes, building programs that are holistic and targeting women, but if we build these programs and these programs work well, but we don't have a way to deliver them, then we did nothing. So I think it's both. I think that there should be a movement towards creating better accessibility for people, youth, in any region, in any country, across the continent. I gave my humble insight about the situation, KG. If you have anything you'd like to add, please feel free to chime in. And to go back to Rashida, can you remind me of the question?
Yeah, sure thing. And thank you for whoever sent the questions. This is insightful, good questions. Please go ahead and share your personal experiences, your thoughts regarding today's topic, and keep up the great spirit to support female in leadership. So, as for my question, I asked, where are we now as a continent on the issue of female leadership?
We are we are far as a humanity, very far away. So the World Economic Forum, um, I think the study was in 2019 that was launched, that said that we won't be able, it will take us more than 257 years to close the gender gap in the economy. 257 years. Like saying that, and we just need to take 20 seconds to silence, because bad. That's bad for humanity, and that's bad for our continental economy. That's bad for our climate, for our earth. That's really bad news. That COVID-19 happened, and as you might think, yes, it affected women um, a lot, more than anyone else, because the industries that were mostly affected by COVID-19 are industries that have more women workers, like the service and hospitality and medical industry, and services as well. So the 257 years are maybe now increased to 300. They don't have the data. They didn't show. They didn't share data, but they tweaked the article saying with COVID-19, it's expected to take more. So as a humanity, we're not doing a great job at bridging the gender gap, at educating people about their own unconscious biases against women. We are not educating women to support each other and not feel like they're in competition with each other. We're not educating women to feel or to know that they can lead, that they can change, that they can be business women, entrepreneurs, artists, astronauts, whatever you want to be. And we're still sucking at that as a humanity, as people, and our continent is not doing any better, even though we have I think we have more than the global average female leaders in Africa, which is amazing. And that's our history, right? That's our African history, is that we have amazing female leaders throughout our history who led our countries and our regions. But I want to figure out the stat. So, okay. In Africa, 70% of women are excluded financially. 70%. That speaks for itself. So we're not doing a great job. We are, there is a huge gap globally. There is a huge gap in Africa. There is a huge gap in our local or our own countries. Even in Tunisia, we have the personal status code that was created in 1956 that give women their rights 100% by law. And I'm sorry, even then, we are not doing a great job. And we still have a long while to go if we want to see a gender balanced economy and continent, and that's only gonna make us a better continent and gonna grow our economy. I don't know if you know the study by McKinsey. I don't remember the name of the study, but you can find it on McKinsey's website, that shows how if we manage to reach gender equality by 2050, then we will add $28 trillion to the global GDP, 26% growth. That in from now to 2050, that's incredible. Imagine what we can do with more women making decision, being in business. It's diversity, right? Diversity is only gonna grow us. Diversity and inclusion is only gonna grow us. Um, yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this. Like, it is really important to keep ourselves updated with these numbers, updated with these statistics to realize the real situation. As I really do agree with you, um, like we're still hopeful, but the way is too long. And if we stand for each other, females, males, to advance women in leadership and entrepreneurship, in um, in showing their feminine style of leadership, um, we really go to achieve great things and change their numbers. Like when I say to change the numbers, we're really capable to do so if we educate each other, equip each other with um, programs, as Selmin has been sharing. And upon this, I'm curious um, to me, like to know, and each and every woman is following us right now. How can we better equip women for leadership roles and positions? Um, you've mentioned that you're the founder of She Starts Africa, like for example how She Starts Africa um, is equipping sorry women for leadership roles and position, and what other recommendation like you can suggest to our aspiring females who looks to become leaders, who looks to create a sustainable impact in their communities in our continent, Africa.
Yeah, so of course, so with She Starts Africa, so I can talk about the program that we are running right now. It's called the Labyrinth, the Maze, because we know that entrepreneurship is a maze, and that the entrepreneurial journey is not linear, it's circular, it's like, ah. And so that's why we called it the Labyrinth, because we try to confuse our entrepreneurs. And it's a 6-week program for female aspiring entrepreneurs, only women. And there's a reason for that. It's not exclusive or anything, but there's a specific reason for that. And what we do is that it's fully online. And what we do is that each week there is a specific theme or a specific target that they need to reach. And each week they have a couple of workshops and one masterclass where they learn about all about that specific theme. And then they have a deliverable. So, for example, week one is design thinking, and then week 2 or 3 is prototyping, and then due diligence, and then how to invest. So they go through all of the process of becoming an entrepreneur. We don't expect them to launch a business or any of that. Um, but we want to see them, our key KPIs, key performance indicators, is seeing them acquiring those skills and pitching their business or idea or project with all of the confidence and knowledge. That's what we want to see. But if they decide that they want to continue working on their business and actually commit to it, then we support them with that as well. And this is a program that's open to any African woman from north to south, east to west, central. Would love to have you. You can go on shestartsafrica.com, and or so shestartsafrica.com or She Starts Africa on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Check us out, follow us, so you can know about our upcoming programs. We are currently trying to build our platform where you can go on it and take any class you want, be part of any workshop, or be part of our packaged service, which supports women entrepreneurs who have projects to increase their sales and go to market. And we are looking forward to be collaborating with more organizations and awesome people from across the continent. We really want to see this organization become an African meeting point, where we all come together to co-create together as women, as young Africans. Um, yeah, that's She Starts Africa. Those are This is the vision of She Starts Africa, is to truly build this virtual or physical space where we can come together to co-create and to build an Africa that we want to see, where it's diverse, it's inclusive, and the decision is in the hands of the young, of the youth.
Yeah. As I've been scrolling now on your website and seeing really inspired things, I really recommend the audience to check her website as she's suggesting. If possible, Selmine, you can like um, write down on the chat your website, and
So I
also
have
like okay.
I'm sorry,
Um,
I interrupted you. I just wanted to say, yes,
yeah.
aside from She Starts Africa, I am a consultant. So I have my website. It's salminesassi.com. It's SALMINEASSI.com. And you can find different things in there, things that I support entrepreneurs with, support organizations or NGOs with, in terms of creating businesses and growing businesses in the continent. If you also need recommendation support, um, I mean, just maybe introducing you to someone, then also reach out on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help you out. And yeah, thank you, Rashida,
Great.
for giving me the opportunity to
Thank
share
you for
that.
your kindness. Thank you. This is really a great opportunity to connect, um, as you said, to collaborate, and get inspired from each other. Building such programs that would advance female in leadership and in entrepreneurship is really needed in our continent, especially after giving these enormous numbers about when are we going to achieve gender equality and really um, value women's position in leadership. And this is also an opportunity to encourage each female, or anyone who is like joining now, to like with ambitions to grow a business, or to start your movement, or support your neighbors getting educated. Like it's now or never, because each one of us has our own unique touch and impact. Has Selmine is impacting all African women with the programs that she provides, with the services that she's sharing, and with her um, energy, and the empowerment that she looks to support the women around us. Please, never hesitate to go ahead, um, to think about the idea that you're having, um, to seek support from experts, to collaborate with other organizations, to get involved in whatever you aspire to, that would uh, that would support you in creating an impact in your community. And because we're running out time, I would like to highlight also that Africa Matters initiative is also supporting you, and we're also open for collaboration, as we're do really aim to maintain equality, to um, decrease the gender gap, to really change narratives, and aspire to have a better Africa, because Africa has really amazing people. We're nations with various skills. We're a land with many with very like resources, that if we only educate each other and support each other, we're really going to perform above expectations. And my only and last question from my side, is that I kept recalling um, Kofi Annan's statement when he said that, um, in order to grow the economy, a nation has to empower its women. Um, I would like to know, do you agree with this statement? And um, what other benefits of empowering women? Uh, what are the other benefits of empowering women in leadership, which is something that we really need at this time?
Okay, I lost you for a second, but I 100% agree with the Kofi Annan statement. And how couldn't I? Yes, having more women in the economy is only going to grow our economy. There is actually a stat that says that having in a company, if we have as many women as men, then we increase productivity to, I think, 20%. Um, so can you imagine how that's going to increase like the productivity of the whole country and continent, and how that's going to shape our communities? The diversity and inclusion in general are positive trends towards growth, economic growth, socio-economic change, positive change. And I just wanted to share with you um, this one thing that has to do with business, right? According to Harvard Business Review, diverse management teams are 70% more likely to capture a new market. Diverse means all types of people, and women, men, non-binary people, whomever you are, um, having you with your difference, you with your skills and capacities is only going to make us a better nation, and it's only going to create a positive impact to our communities. And I just want to leave you guys with and girls and ladies and gentlemen with one last quote, which is my own motto in life, but also it's our She Starts Africa motto by Sheryl Sandberg, who is the COO of She Starts Africa. That's always what I'm saying. I'm always saying She Stars Africa. So everything is She Stars Africa for me. Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, and she says option A is not available, so let's kick the shit out of option B. And as African young women, that's what we need to do because option A is almost never available, and that is the B, C, D, E, all of the the rest of the alphabet, and we just need to nail that. Um, yeah, and thank you so much for having me, Rashida, Africa Matters Initiative. KD, thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be part of this. Reach out to me. Check out my website. Check out She Starts Africa website and social media. And I'm happy to support with anything that I can support with. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Selmin. Thank you everyone for following us. I hope you got inspired. I hope um you've got to learn something new. You've got to reflect upon so many things that may change your perspective about women in leadership. I hope you all keep this great spirit. You embrace your potential and how capable you can achieve in our continent. Thank you for being here, asking the very interesting questions and sharing um, your thoughts. We hope to see you in upcoming webinars with other topics. Never hesitate to follow us on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Like just type Africa Matters Initiative, and never hesitate also to keep an eye on our website and our newsletters as we um, keep sharing with you very interesting opportunities and programs that would support you aiming high with your aspirations. Thank you again for being with us. I hope you had an interesting webinar. We hope to see you soon and have a great time. Thank you.